Hey guys, what's up? It's Maylee. Welcome back to my channel. Alright, so in last week's video, I talked about all the things that I think are essential for your college dorm. If you haven't watched it yet, I will have it linked down below. But in that video, I told you guys I would also be filming a part 2 where I talked about all the things that you do not need to bring to college. I'm a rising sophomore at UCLA, so last year I lived in the dorms and let me tell you, I brought a ton of things that I ended up not using, not needing whatsoever. So today I'm here to share with you guys the things that I think that you do not need to bring. Hopefully this will help you guys out, save some luggage space, make it less of a hassle when you're moving into your college dorm. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. My neighbors just started mowing their lawn, so I apologize if there's any background noise in this video. Neighbors just don't understand. I'm trying to teach the people what things they don't need to bring to college. But anyways, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below for more. I have my list of things you do not need to bring right here, so I make sure I don't forget anything. The first thing on my list is to not bring, or if you're gonna buy some stuff there, do not buy too many cups and utensils. Being an out-of-state student, I didn't bring a ton of things. So during move-in, my dad and I went to stores like Bed Bath & Beyond and Target, and we stocked up on all the dorm essentials there. So that was when I made the mistake of buying one too many cups and utensils. That was a complete waste of money. Like, I did not need to buy that much stuff. I only ended up needing like one plate or one or two spoons, one or two forks. Because at least for me, I don't like to keep dirty dishes just around my dorm room, especially since your dorm room is small and if you're sharing the room with other people, you know, if you just leave dirty plates around here and there, and if there's leftover food on them, it can start to go bad and smell bad. So for me, if I'm using utensils or a plate, I will usually just wash it right after I'm done. So because of that, I don't need to have a bunch of extra utensils and plates. Those things do take up precious space that you probably have a limited amount of space in your dorm room. And then same goes for mugs. I bought 2 mugs, which I don't think is too excessive, but I'm not a coffee drinker. I know, I'm sorry to all the coffee lovers out there, do not come for me. But yeah, I'm not a coffee drinker, so I had no purpose for mugs. If you do drink like coffee or tea, like that's understandable that you might want 1 or 2, but if you don't, like, I'd never touch them. The next thing that I recommend you do not bring is too many pillows. I remember when I was planning on moving in and planning on how I was gonna decorate my dorm, I made this whole nice Pinterest board with all my inspo pics. You know those really like Pinteresty beds where there's a ton of throw pillows on them and it makes it look all fluffy and comfy? Well, in reality, it may look really nice, but when you're actually going to bed, you aren't gonna be using all those throw pillows. So usually I would just throw them on the ground. And again, you don't have much space in your dorm, so anything that takes up space that doesn't need to be there is something that I would recommend you don't add or don't bring. Honestly, looking back, I wish I didn't have so many pillows. I only needed one to sleep on. Other than that, I think there's other ways to decorate your dorm. Like, you don't need to bring a ton of throw pillows in order to make your dorm look pretty. The next thing is do not bring too many towels. When I look back, I also realized that I would use pretty much the same towel, so I would use it after I showered, and then whenever I went to wash it, I would wash it, and then just end up using the same one after I've washed it. So I did not need a ton of different towels. I think 2 is plenty, like one that you're using currently, and then one that you can kind of keep in your closet in case you need it for backup. Okay, the next thing that I recommend you not bring is a steamer or an iron, like an ironing board. I was kind of surprised to find that I totally did not need this, because this time last year when I was watching these kind of videos, a lot of people recommended that you bring a steamer. So last year I had bought one because a lot of YouTubers said that you should have one, and I don't think I ever used it. Not only was it an unnecessary purchase for me, but it's a pretty big device considering how much room you have in your dorm. So yeah, if you don't think you'll need to be ironing your clothes, you really don't need to go out and buy a steamer. Also, life hack, if your clothes have wrinkles in them, you don't need to have an ironing board or a steamer. What I will do is I will put it on a hanger, and then when you're taking a shower, put it somewhere in the bathroom to hang up, and all that steam from your shower will actually smooth out your clothes and get rid of the wrinkles. So yeah, I would honestly end up doing this trick more than actually taking out my steamer because I was lazy. I mean, I guess it makes sense if you have your own bathroom in your dorm, but if you have a communal bathroom, I mean, you can still bring it into the communal bathroom and have your clothes hanging there. I don't think anybody's gonna care. And I mean, I think it's a great conversation starter. If someone's like, what's that? You can be like, oh, it's a great life hack. Like, do you want me to teach you? And bam, you have a friend. Look at me giving all this friend advice. Also, I don't know what the closet situation is for your guys' dorms, but for mine, we had those actual like racks that we could hang clothes on with hangers. And because you're hanging your clothes, they're not gonna wrinkle as if you were to like fold them or something. So yeah, I ended up not really having that many wrinkled shirts anyways. The next thing, unfortunately, that I'm gonna say is do not bring too many clothes. I know, I'm sorry, when I was packing last year, a lot of people told me like, Maylee, you don't need to bring your whole closet, but did I listen? No. Do I regret it? Yes. So yeah, everyone is right. You do not need to bring your entire closet. Just bring the necessities and the clothes that you really like to wear. Like if there's a shirt that you haven't worn since 10th grade and you think that you're suddenly gonna wear in college, like chances are you probably aren't. Also, I brought a ton of like cute clothes, telling myself that I was gonna dress up every day for class and look all cute going to class, when in reality I probably did that for one day and then every day after that wore sweats to class. So if there's something that you're gonna prioritize bringing, I would probably say bring comfy clothes. Also, you can kind of plan out like what clothes you're gonna bring based on when you're gonna be going back home. So for example, if you know that you'll be going back home during Thanksgiving or during winter break, when you initially move in, you can just bring the clothes that you're going to need up until then. So that way when you come back home, you can bring in your winter clothes and it'll just make things a lot easier when you're first moving into your dorm. Also, it's not the end of the world if you realize when you're in college that you really miss a shirt or you really miss this one outfit that you left at home. You can just ask your parents to send it. So yeah, I wouldn't stress too much about what clothes you're gonna bring. Okay, the next item that I'm gonna recommend you not bring is, this might be a little bit controversial. I know a lot of people said that they would recommend that you bring this, but personally I did not find a use for it, and that is a water filter, like a Brita water filter. It really depends on what your dorm offers, but at UCLA, in my dorm, we had a drinking fountain on every single floor. So anytime I wanted water or I wanted to refill my water bottle, I just had to walk to the drinking fountain. Also, the Brita filters are pretty big, so they didn't fit in my dorm refrigerator anyways. Again, this is controversial. I know that a lot of people at other schools said that they really liked that they brought their Brita filter, but at least for me and all my friends at UCLA, like none of us ended up needing a water filter. My recommendation would probably be to first move in and then see what your dorm has to offer. So see if they have a drinking fountain, and if they don't, then you can go out and buy one. This next item also might be a little bit controversial because I know a lot of people recommend it, but personally, I do not recommend it, and that is a printer. Here's my reasoning, so hear me out. I did not buy a printer, and I'm glad I didn't because I think I would have ended up spending more money on buying the printer, buying the paper, buying the ink, versus just paying when I printed at the school printer. The school printer wasn't that expensive, and I wasn't printing out that many things anyways. Most of my stuff was online or just like documents that I could have on my computer. And if you were to buy a printer, printers can be pretty expensive. Like ink itself, that can be pretty pricey. I know what some people do is that they will split the cost with their roommates, so if you do that and it ends up being pretty affordable, then like you do you. But for me, I found that I did not need it. Like I rarely ever need to print papers anyways. The next item I recommend do not bring is school supplies, specifically like binders, folders, notebooks. Don't get me wrong, you will definitely need these things, but I recommend that you buy them after the first day of class and not like buy them before you move in, because I found that on the first day of class, the professor would usually tell us what kind of things we needed, or they'd go over the syllabus and they would tell us what the class would kind of look like. So from there, I could judge what would be necessary for the class. But I remember during the first quarter, I had brought school supplies beforehand, and I ended up not using most of the things I brought. I brought way too many folders, and later on, I realized that most of my classes, everything's online. And I mean, now that I think about it, since we're in a pandemic and most colleges are online right now, most of the documents will probably be things that you can keep on your computers. The next recommendation is for all my makeup junkies out there. If you're like me, you probably brought your like entire makeup collection, which was totally not necessary. Specifically, I brought multiple eyeshadow palettes and I ended up not using the majority of them. I would just say to bring your go-to products, like the ones that you like using, the ones that you know work. You don't need to bring a ton of different lipstick shades or a ton of different different eyeshadows. Like, I'm pretty sure I brought a palette that had a ton of crazy colors that I usually would never wear. And I think my reasoning when I was packing, I was like, oh, maybe I'll use this for fun for like parties or Halloween or something, but nah, that never happened. Halloween, I ended up being a cat, so. But yeah, if you're gonna bring an eyeshadow palette, just bring the one that has all your basic necessity colors. The next thing you do not need to bring is books or coloring books. I did not do this, but I know a lot of people who brought books thinking that they were going to read them, or like I also know people who brought coloring books, like, you know, those like stress relieving coloring books, and they brought all their art supplies and they're like, yeah, you know, when I'm stressed, I'm gonna color my coloring book. But at the end of the school year, all of them were like, why did I bring those things? I mean, don't get me wrong, if you're an avid reader or if you're an avid artist, bring whatever floats your boat. But for me at least, like, I did not do that much reading or coloring in my free time when I was at home anyways. So if you find that right now in your free time you're not doing these things, then most likely you will not do these things in college. Plus, you won't really have that much downtime in college. Like, you're gonna be pretty busy with schoolwork, and the times that I wasn't busy with schoolwork, I was either doing things with clubs or other activities or my sorority or just hanging out with friends. So I did not find that I needed anything to kill downtime. Alright, and the last product that you do not need is mini appliances. So this might be like a toaster oven or a mini waffle maker or a mini rice cooker. I know that these things are super cute and Urban Outfitters has them in their home section and it can be so tempting to want to bring it. But trust me, you probably are not going to be chefing it up in your dorm room. I have a few friends who brought a mini rice cooker or a mini waffle maker and they never used it. Again, it's just going to take up your precious limited dorm space. And since you'll be eating at the dining halls most of the time, I highly doubt that you're going to be using these appliances. It can also be a hassle to clean up because if you have a shared bathroom or a communal bathroom, you're going to have to bring those appliances with you to the bathrooms to wash them. However, I do think it's a totally different scenario if you're living in an apartment because, you know, usually when you're living in an apartment, you're cooking for yourself. So in that case, I think these things would be really handy. But if you're living in the dorms, I don't think they're necessary. So that is it for today's video. I hope this helped you guys out. If it did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below for more. Also, make sure that you check out last week's video where I talk about all the things that you do need to bring to your dorm room. I hope you guys all have a great move-in. Definitely let me know if you have any questions or just tell me how your move-in goes. I'm really excited for all of you guys. And until next time, I hope you guys are staying happy and healthy, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!